and welcome to Indie Comic Audio. I'm your host, Dexter Jacobs. This is episode number 3, and we're talking about MSP Comicon. That's right. It's been about 2 weeks now, 2 weekends ago, I guess. I went to MSP Comicon, formerly known as SpringCon, up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, with my good friends, Thom and Matty of 515 Comics. If you're not familiar with them, I recommend you go over to 515comics.com. If you don't specifically know who Thom is, I recommend listening to my episode number 2. It's the one episode ago, I guess. And if you're not familiar with Matty's work, you should head over to their Facebook page and find Star Wars Kinda. It's a pretty funny comic strip that he makes, photographing his vast collection of Star Wars action figures. There will be links in the show notes for that. And just to mention, you can find the show notes at indiecomic.audio/episode 3. That's episode number 3. And one thing to note is that Thom and I actually recorded this at the same time. Thom, as mentioned in our previous interview, has a YouTube channel. So if you head over to YouTube and look for NyQuil Dreamer, there'll be a link in the show notes, of course. You can actually see the video recording of this interview, this discussion, I guess. And you can actually see and not only hear how tired I am. I don't remember feeling as tired, and I just don't remember feeling as tired as I sound and or as I look than I actually do. But it was kind of a draining weekend, I guess. We were talking quite a bit, running around quite a bit, maybe staying up too late, and just doing the fun convention stuff. But it's maybe kind of a fun thing to do. So head over to the show notes, find that link over to NyQuil Dreamer and that specific episode that he has of this same discussion. So in this talk that's coming up with Matty and Thom, we talk a lot about just what went on Saturday. It wasn't great for me on Saturday. I stuck at the booth and I was trying to, I think, hit up a lot of the fans. And I kind of realized something that I already knew about Comicons from my previous ventures in selling wallets made out of comic books, that people at Comicons seem to be more into the comics. And I don't think that they were necessarily there to find a newsletter about them. So I got a couple of people interested. They signed up, and that was good. Got to chat a little bit with a couple of people. But I was sharing a booth with Thom, and most people just shuffled the 2 feet over to the other side of the table and chatted to him about his book. So Sunday, it was after this conversation coming up, went a lot better for me, maybe. I actually walked around the room and handed out business cards, met a lot of creators, which was a lot of fun just to see the variety in story and in content, just even just the way that they were doing things, just the vast difference. Some maybe not doing things quite as thoroughly, some doing every little step along the way, and all making just great books. It was quite a treat to get to see that. So I recommend, next year, if you are in the Minneapolis area, even if you're not, make the trip, go to MSP Comicon. So yeah, before we dive into the talk with Thom and Matty, I would like to get a couple things out of the way. I'd like to remind you to find us on Twitter at Indie Comic Ninja and Indie Comic Audio, and you can find us online at our website, indiecomic.audio. Again, that's where you can find the show notes, indiecomic.audio/episode 3. So just wait about a second, and you can hear that conversation with Matty and Thom about MSP Comicon.
So I'm Matty at 515 Comics.
Oh yeah, and I'm Thom. also from 515 Comics.
And I'm Dexter from Indie Comic Ninja.
And together we form Voltron.
Captain Planet.
Well, there's only 3 of us. Voltron needs 5.
Half of Captain Planet.
We're more like Rail Racer, the 3 trains from Transformers that turn into one big train.
Yeah, we're that.
I'm the caboose.
They're all kind of regular trains.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Actually, it does, because then when they're separate, they can drive.
They're monorail cars.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they're monorail trains.
Oh.
And it was Japan.
I was just gonna ask.
So Thom, you had a lot of people talking to you about your book.
I did. That's one of my favorite things to talk about.
Yeah. No, I noticed, I think, that you have a really good elevator pitch.
I've been working on it, and this year I changed it up just slightly.
More hand gestures?
Well, no, you know what? Probably more hand gestures. Yeah, I think.
And that.
Yeah, I speak with my hands.
Yeah.
I think it shows my excitement.
Yeah.
I think that it gets people a little more engaged, which is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
You've dropped one of your original pitches
I
by
dropped
describing it, what it is, but what the similarity of it is. I've noticed. Beforehand, I believe you used to say what it was like Star Wars and Star Wars / Indiana Jones kind of treasure hunting comic.
Yeah.
I don't hear you say that much anymore.
I used to always end it with, it's like Indiana Jones in space.
Yes.
Because
it's its own thing.
Well, yeah, and I feel like that's a fair, a decent assessment, but it's really not like that very much. But it was just kind of a quick way to get people to understand kind of the adventure elements that I was trying to put into it, which I think is a fair comparison. But I wanted to drop it because I felt like I felt really sheepish whenever I would give that pitch to someone and they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember you last year. I remember you told me about this last year or something," and I felt like the Indiana Jones thing is probably the thing that sticks out the most.
That's a good point.
And so I wanted it to be generic enough that if someone heard the pitch again and again, that they might not be like, "Oh wow, this guy's saying the exact same thing."
Yeah.
It reminds me of the guy yesterday that cornered Dexter, because that's how you pitched it to him our first year or second year. When you said, "Oh, it's like Indiana Jones in space," and it clicked with him and said, "Oh, have you ever seen this show?" And then went on for 5 minutes to explain his favorite show. The same guy came yesterday and kind of cornered Dexter at his table and just, for a good 3 to 5 minutes, was just talking to Dexter about what he absolutely loves. And I could look over at Dexter to see Dexter going, "Yeah. Yeah."
He was a nice guy.
Very nice, very friendly. But yeah, he's a cat we've seen before who is he's very happy to find some kind of similarity, even if it's a fragment, and then he wants to tell you all about what he loves. You've never been to a convention, those happen.
Well, and then, I guess talking about funny people coming to the booth, you had a guy corner you and grill you about your comic.
Oh yeah.
For kind of a while, which was kind of funny because then the guy behind him was waited very patiently.
Was an actual fan.
Was a legit fan of yours.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of an interesting back-to-back situation.
Yeah. Well, again, I looked over at Matt. I'm like, Thom has a line.
Yeah, that was exciting.
Which that second guy had
He
groupies.
had a family with him. It was a lot of people.
I thought there was a longer line than there actually was. I wasn't trying to make.
Yeah, I was really excited because they were all looking through the books and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, sweet!" As soon as this guy's done with his Inquisition,
yeah,
then I'll be able to make some sales. I mean, I did, and it was cooler to.
That guy bought stuff.
Yeah, he bought the prequel book.
Or yeah.
The Ramos Emerald book because he read the comic. He was all caught up.
So he was just reading it online, and so he had no reason for the volumes.
No, and he just saw. He's like, "I just read today's page and saw that you were going to be at this show, and we were like, let's go over." Yeah,
I should have read it. Or yesterday.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because I'm a little ahead now. I'm a little less ahead.
Do you time the like you set them, or did you
Yeah.
post it yesterday?
No, I set it up. I schedule it.
I didn't see you do it.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. The way we host our comics and stuff like that, we can set schedules.
Nice.
Yeah, so we can even set it down to the hour.
Yeah.
Or the minutes even that we can post them. So yeah,
cool.
if we get ahead of time, we can just upload them all, and then if you want to at 3 a.m., even if you're asleep, the page is gonna go up.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
I think that's what a lot of people do. But yeah, it's nice.
Well, for the sake of the podcast listeners for the sake of podcast, Thom, what do you have at the show that you're showing off that for next to's?
Yeah, I've got the first 3 volumes of the books. That's the first 15 chapters. I've got my little 30-page prequel story. It's like a separate story that takes place before the online comic, and it's print only. And it's called The Hunt for the Ramos Emerald. So kind of the same Indiana Jones titling, where it's just a different adventure for a different thing.
Yeah.
And T-shirts and my little tarot card prints.
Right.
So
I was handing out business cards and stickers.
yeah, that was good. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
How did it go for you? Like, how did you? Because this was your first time having a table for Indie Comic Ninja.
Yeah, having a table. Because at Icon, I went around and talked. I just talked to all the booths, I guess. It was okay. I feel like a lot of people glossed over me, but there was definitely maybe 2 or 3 people who seemed pretty excited.
Yeah.
And so hopefully that'll move on from there. I'm hoping maybe the podcast will drive more people towards the newsletter. And so today I think I'm going to focus more on talking to the vendors or the creators.
Yeah, going around.
Good idea.
Yeah.
No, I can even tell you from my first convention of me promoting my stuff, it always does feel that way for a little bit.
Yeah.
It totally does. I mean, I think it was 2013 was when I made my book, and I gave it away. I think first time what I tried to do, I tried to sell them for $1 or something, but then after a few minutes, after like an hour or 2, I was just like, I don't need to sell this. So I just started giving them out. Biggest problem for me was I kept attracting the wrong people to my booth. Because
of the zombie thing? Or?
I don't know what it was. I think it may have been my style. It was also my iPad that I was using, because for my setup for Redemption was I made a 10-page book with a kind of closed segment from the story that was a good opener. And I had that, and I had my iPad there next to Thom, and because of the iPad, because when you see someone's iPad, you get drawn to it, and that's why we use it. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of kids come to that, and Redemption was not for kids.
Yeah.
And yes, I was having kids come up and look at the pictures, and I think I did edit the language.
Yeah.
I did edit the language, some of the harsh words out of it for the sake of it, but some of the pages were very violent.
Right.
And I didn't have a problem with that. I don't care, because that's what the comic was. I considered it what would be like. And they were full of action. They were a lot of action pages. Mm-hmm. Sad thing was I had a lot of young, under 10 years old, coming over and opening it and stuff. And I did have a couple parents even go, nope, this is not for you.
Yeah. It's a little uncomfortable. Yeah.
Made me feel a little bad, but it was also, I think I made 50 copies of that. I think I went home with over 30. And it wasn't awful or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, your first time doing this, I think you can even say this, Thom, when you first go to a convention and you're first putting this out, it does not matter how much condition your expectations are 1,000. When they probably should be more like 20.
Yeah.
For the sake of it, that's just what happens. I mean, I know there's not a single person in that floor whose first time, they are not going, well, if I don't do anything, it's fine. Everyone has really high expectations for themselves, and it is completely natural. You are not wrong for wanting to have the expectations touching the ceiling.
Yeah.
But I mean, it happens. Yeah. It's totally fine. I mean, whenever anyone goes, it's not what I imagined, it's like, that's totally fine. Don't ever beat yourself over that. that.
Yeah, I feel like, and like every show that I go to still, like, and I've been going to a lot of shows.
5 years now.
Every show I still will have that, like, either it's the first hour or like, just a slow hour in the afternoon. Just every day of every show where I'm like, God, what am I doing? Like, nobody's talking to me. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I have those moments where it's just like, why is everybody just walking by? Like,
we didn't know what we were doing because we never really been to a convention.
well, but I mean, even now,
there are people that walk by.
Yeah. And I don't have those moments of just like, am I doing it right? Like, what do I need to... So what I've changed is, instead of just being like, what am I doing here? I start to think, what can I do to, like, reach out and engage with people?
Yeah.
Like, if someone walks by and I wish that they would have stopped, I just know, okay, the next time someone walks by and I want them to stop, I will ask them a question, or I'll, like, try and direct their attention to me in some way.
Well, and I know from, I guess, research, I've done.
Yeah.
Well, and from when I had my booth for my wallets, like, engaging in general, because people are just going to walk by, I think, no matter what. And ideally, the plan is you have a banner that's nice and you're cut out of 115, and so they'll see that and then be enticed in. But it's a lot of it is engaging them as they walk by, which is kind of like why when you're at the state fair in the Midway, the heckler, or not really hecklers, but like those guys are very vocal to get you to come play their games. It's the same concept.
Yeah.
And at the same time, having a good smile apparently goes a long way.
Not looking like a creeper.
Yeah, which in general you do a good job of. I notice, like, you are very engaging.
Tom refuses to sit at conventions.
Yeah, which actually, and that's a thing that's recommended.
The one thing I do love about you is we
it's your winning smile.
Yeah.
we have the beard shirt. Yeah. If Tom even remotely sees a guy with a big beard, and even if he's a little far away, Tom will go, I have a shirt just for you. And it is very funny. And guess what? That guy will look, and he will wander over, and he will look.
Yeah.
He comes over, but it's very great that Tom panders to the basement people. No. Yeah, we have a shirt, don't be weird, grow a beard. It's it's the most popular shirt.
Yeah.
And the fun thing is yesterday I know that even with a couple people walking by, they'd smile, and you'd be like, this is just for you. Or even one gentleman who walked by and you even like almost waved at him and said, I have the perfect thing for you. And
I like that guy towards the beginning. He legitimately seemed excited about that shirt.
Yeah.
And then put it out immediately.
Yeah. The older guy with, I think, his kids.
I'm surprised sometimes at who's... Because, like, sometimes you'll see a lot of older guys walking around these shows, and a lot of them do have magnificent beards, but they don't ever strike me as, like, oh, that guy's going to want a t-shirt. Like, I would not have guessed that guy would have bought a shirt. He might have, like, laughed at it with his kids and, like, isn't that cute? And then they would have kept on going.
I think one of the coolest things has happened with conventions, repeated conventions. We've seen guys come with that shirt.
Yeah.
We have seen people wear our shirts at the
like
conventions. People will remember that they got it at a convention. I'm imagining, we've never spoken to them, but it only seems to make sense that if we've seen someone wearing that shirt the following year, it's no doubt because they like that shirt and they remember, I got this at SpringCon. I'm going to wear this.
Yeah.
And then that's just, I think that goes without saying. That is the situation that comes down to.
I would think so.
I don't really want to think the guy just pulls it out of his closet and puts it on and doesn't realize realize it. No.
Yeah.
It is kind of cool. And I think that's happened here.
Yeah.
Has it happened at our homecon convention?
Yeah, it's happened at the MiniCon and at Midwest Con or Icon.
Yeah. It's kind of neat. I mean, even something little as that. I mean,
makes me happy.
After all these years of doing convention and stuff, having stuff like having things like that happen, or having people go, "Oh, I had this last year," or I think it was last year's SpringCon, or it was one of our hometown cons, where one guy even came up and said, "Yes, the next volume," and he bought it right there. Even after doing these so many years, the rose color tinted glasses get put back on. When that happens,
whenever those little things happen, like it's just like an internal checklist of like, yep, still doing it, yep, still working, yep, all right, I'm making it. Like it makes me really happy. Yeah.
It is really neat.
Yeah, and that's it's really exciting when you have those situations where someone just approaches you and they want something that you have, or they want your pitch. Which, like that guy who we should probably talk about a little bit. Like, I wasn't mad that guy was asking me a bunch of questions. The guy was grilling me.
Yeah.
But
he seemed nice, but I would describe it as grilling you.
Yeah.
I think it was just his way of getting information.
It's great when people like want to engage with you like that, but I don't feel like you can wait for it. Like, it'll happen some, and that's cool. But yeah, you have to make those situations happen more than they will on their own.
Yeah.
Well, last night after the convention, we went to kind of an after party, which
nice.
Thom and I have done before at another convention, and they're very fun. You know, it's a little weird sometimes. When we first went in, it was very kind of small and cramped, and we didn't know anybody.
I was worried it was going to be like everyone kind of in their groups, and
it kind of felt that way at first.
Yeah, but then
very much.
Once you started talking to some people, like they really engaged you. It was nice.
It's kind of weird also to get into a room with a lot of social nerds.
Everybody who came to the after party came to like interact with other people.
That was
nice. Yeah, and I eventually bolted probably about an hour before you guys came back in.
Yeah,
probably 40 minutes or so, because I just started getting fatigued of talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally, it was late and I got tired, and I go, I love having these conversations. You don't have them very often.
Yeah.
But I'm tired of having these conversations right now. So, but it's a fun time, and we got to catch up with a couple brothers that go every year.
That was my first time meeting them. They were nice guys.
The Vasquez brothers.
Jerry and Ben.
They're very talented. I remember, I think someone came to it wasn't their dad, surprisingly, but our first convention, I think maybe it was you, Thom. You went to a small convention they were at, and you said those guys are from Iowa City. And I went over and chatted with them and got their book. And almost every other year, I make an effort to go say hi to them. Mm-hmm. I think it's by a point that they know who we are now. They recognize us.
Yeah.
Because we do a lot of the same conventions, since we are all from essentially the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
With these, and we are a rarity with these kind of guys, being artists that do this, and it was really great because they're young. They're young. I think they were probably 17 and 18 when we
first met them. Yeah.
When we first met them. Now these guys are in their mid to early 20s, and it was really great to see them still doing this.
Yeah,
it was really great. It's always a little something. We always got to wonder if like. It's been 5 years now. Is this guy still doing this, or did he quit?
Yeah, it's really fun to. They're amazing. It's really fun to like going to cons over and over again. Like, it's fun to go to new shows and like learn about how things work in a new environment. But it's really fun when you travel to a show and it's like, oh hey, there's some people I know. There's some people I know.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it makes you feel really like kind of like safe and comfortable.
Yeah, it's weird now because our first convention 5 years ago, and now this is our fifth one, and we see a lot of the same guys, not only at this but other ones, and it is a little weird to develop these like kind of
comradeship,
these comrades and professional these work friendships essentially out of these guys that we see, and like the Vasquez boys, Carter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Candlelight Press guys.
Candlelight Press. Some of the who even outside of conventions develop friendships with Carter and his wife. They came to your wedding, didn't they?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we developed friendships online through other web series and stuff like that. Like your friend Josh, who has come to many of events, personal events of yours. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's really kind of cool that we've developed these friendships, or these camaraderies out of these conventions.
Well, yeah, and I think that's a really cool thing about going to these shows is like the networking element, and like it's cool for you that like that's kind of like the whole point of going is just to like try and capitalize on that, like try and like make those connections and meet those people and start getting them talking about stuff.
And at Midwest Comicon, that's what I did, was I just focused on that networking. And so I think I was trying to make that change of plan, like I'm going to hit the fans this time.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I guess my podcast is probably it's geared toward the fans, but so they're hearing me talk about this. But I think that's what I wanted to do here, but I don't think that's what the fans are looking for.
Yeah.
And I think that was the problem I had trying to sell my comic wallets at a Comic-Con. It's like they're not looking for that. They're looking to engage with the creators and with buying comics.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think what I need, that's why today I want to engage them with the creators and try to find maybe the small publishers and stuff like that are going to be here, so I can like strike up some under the table deals and stuff. Now, just get to know them and then promote their books, and then from that, the people who like their books can find me and then find more books.
Right.
And that's the whole point of what I'm doing, is to just broaden people's horizons. So I think I need to broaden my horizon first.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And extend that to everyone else.
I guess I always envisioned what you should do first is you really need to go toward the creators.
Yeah.
So then you will have content to
Exactly.
go toward the fans.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Well, and the whole point is I need to know when people's new comics are coming out.
Yep.
And so that I can put that out. And so, yeah. Maybe I'm backwards at this.
Yeah, that's kind of always how to look at it, because
There's not a right or wrong way to do this, man.
Exactly.
You're just figuring it out as you go. So
Exactly.
that's right. Extra egg.
I like eggs.
yeah, convention's good.
No, yeah, I'm
Convention
excited. I'm pumped for today. It's gonna be a good day. I think.
Sundays are a little quieter, but it doesn't mean that it's a dead show.
Yep.
Usually, I would say Sunday conventions are roughly probably 70% of what Saturdays are, kind of. It
It's not
depends.
Yeah.
I think the roughest we ever had was, it's not the convention's fault, it's nothing with it. It was, I think the worst year we had was when we had a lot of storm warnings.
Oh,
And
that's right here. Yeah.
A lot of people decided to come on Saturday, and that was a busy Saturday. That was a huge Saturday. Sunday wasn't, because it did rain all day, which, that'll stop cosplayers from coming.
Oh.
That'll stop some families coming.
I was actually thinking. So I'm assuming everyone might know that we're podcasting and vodcasting right now, and I'm interested to see. I don't think you edit this yours at all, do you?
Oh, wait, no, I edit them a lot.
Okay, so I think it'll be interesting to watch Tom's thing and listen to my thing, because we edit it
To
differently.
see how closely we edit. Yeah. Yeah.
Might be some bonus content.
Yeah, you never know, right?
The only person who's missing recording this is me, and I can tell you right now, I don't edit.
Yeah.
I put it out raw.
That's right. Well, right on. I
Okay.
guess, is there anything else we should talk about?
Your first time coming up here with us, your first kind of convention this size, what do you think? Dexter. Pointing at Dexter.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I mean, I've only gone to Icon and MidwestCon, and then this one for cons that were not San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dexter got cursed and had to go to San Diego Comicon one year.
Which
Real rough.
I feel bad for myself. No, but it was a blast. It's a good size, and I think the unique thing about this one that I really like is that it's there's no media. Like, there's nobody from TV shows. There's no wrestlers.
There is, but they know what they're doing here.
Okay.
There are sometimes radio stations that come.
Well,
There are some of the local TVs that do come and just shoot around a little bit, but they don't bother.
By media, though, I mean like the TV show stars.
And
silly
yeah, they don't do
wrestlers
that.
And people who are who have a booth, who have nothing to do with comics, which I can enjoy, but I like a con that doesn't do that.
This one
and
does.
focuses on the comics.
This one does actually.
Okay. Well, I didn't see him.
Wait, it's okay. They're on the south side. It's nothing horrendous, or they don't put too much. But the ARL comes. The Roller Derby League is here.
Well, yeah, but it's like
We don't
community stuff.
Yes, it's community stuff.
Which I'm okay with that, I guess. But
If it's not noticeable, they don't pander to
There's
people.
a really high percentage, though, of just comics.
Yeah.
And
I
comic-related
guess
stuff
the
and
thing.
art-related stuff.
Yeah. And I enjoy that, and I like just the really strong focus on the comics rather than it being an entertainment expo, which is fine if that's what you want to do, but I think it's just kind of, I really like the comic aspect, and so it's just nice that that's the focus.
So do the people that run this.
Right.
Like, they honestly, from talking to some of the guys last night, it's that's the pro side of the downs of San Diego Comic-Con.
Mm.
It gives the guys who run conventions like these the ideas of what not to do.
Yeah.
And that is pretty much it. Like, I talked to guys last night who are just really complaining about everything that Wizard does and what San Diego does.
Yeah.
And it is a good example for them to go, well, this is what we're going to avoid doing.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to do this. And it's, I mean, that's the biggest thing about the big conventions. Like, when they have big artists come in, they announce them, they have booths and stuff like that. More times they kind of also get paid to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Guys like Phil Hester, who we see at every convention because he is one of our, he's a homeboy of ours. If he comes to this, which more times he does, they will have a little thing that says, hey, he's coming. He's sitting at a table next to just a regular guy, too.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how it goes here.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is pretty equal at this convention. But yeah, they don't want big stars and stuff like that. There actually are quite a few writers that have written for big comics that are here.
Yeah, which
you wouldn't notice.
But they're also
when
pushing
you want,
their indie stuff. Which
they're
is
pushing their indie stuff, or they're pushing commissions of works that they've done.
Yeah.
Which is totally fine. But yeah, it is. This convention is essentially what conventions like this, even our convention and other local ones that you tend to. It's run by guys who know exactly what Comic Cons are, and they want to make sure it stays like that.
Yeah.
And I do respect that a lot because when you first come up, you're going, oh man, are there gonna be guests here and stuff like that, and you find out, no, it's the kid that gave you his coffee at the mall.
Yeah.
And he took a weekend off because he likes to draw and he wants to show you his stuff.
Yeah. Which is a nice community builder, I suppose, because I know I keep bringing back, because my only similar thing I did was selling those wallets that went, because I was that coffee guy who sold people the coffee. And people, when they would come to those craft shows and they would see me doing my thing, and like that was actually a nice engagement point of like actually getting to know people a little bit better and sharing my craft that way. And that almost made it more fun. And so it's nice. I think it's a lot of fun talking to like the Minneapolis people here and on their home turf. And I guess just to see how things have been going here. But I don't know where I was going with that. but I think I just like that aspect that it is those, this is people's almost hobbies still right now.
Yeah.
And seeing them building their empire is a lot of fun.
It's interesting to find the people that do this for a straight living.
Yeah, I know there's a couple.
There are a couple of those guys, and it is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's cool.
So, I don't know, Tom, do you have anything that you've kind of seen this year that's different, or is this pretty much kind of the same kind of thing we go every year, which that's not a complaint whatsoever?
No. I feel like I saw a lot of different booths. Like, I feel like I saw a lot of different artists that I hadn't seen at previous shows, which is cool.
That is something I've noticed too. Is I'm not seeing a lot of the regulars like us. I don't know, maybe if they're doing somewhere else, or they decided not to come here this year, or they decided to. But yeah, I'm really having a hard time kind of even seeing anybody that I've seen before.
Yeah,
there's a couple that we do
definitely
recognize.
Some, but
with Wizard in Des Moines this same weekend, I'm wondering how many of those people went down there.
It's very possible. I know we talked about that too. It's possible that some people may have gone down there. That being said, they just did their Wizard last week, but it is possible that some guys have like decided, oh, I can do two in a month, two big ones.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
it's very that's the whole thing.
But
yeah.
Well, right on.
So,
is that it? Do we need to get going?
We should probably get packed up. Is it 9?
No, it's 10 till.
No, my clock's fast.
Oh, why would you do that?
I didn't. I don't know what happened.
I keep coming back to it, and I almost feel bad, but it just gets truer each time when I realize that you are a human monster. Who would do such a thing?
I don't think I did. I don't know how that happened.
What, you mean your computer's clock?
It says 9 o'clock, but then it's 8:50.
How is your computer clock faster?
I don't know. I don't use this computer much. I only use it for podcasting.
What's wrong with you?
I'm a horrible person.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
I thought we were free shaming. I don't know why.
All right, now bonus for the audio.
That's all you get.